love you, baby. Ooh, I love you, baby. Ooh, and if you go, I'm going with you.
Yes. All right. Welcome to No Nonsense Market Domination pre-show. I am David Wilson, Business Savage, and welcome to the pre-show. No Nonsense Market Domination. This is season 4. We're on episode 12. I can't believe it. Second to last episode of the season. And we are doing our second Savvee segments show. So second Savvee segment show. So today what we're going to be covering a whole bunch of things. So in our Savvee segment shows, we cover different areas that have come up during the season, questions that people ask during the season, kind of like a recap. Kind of like a recap, but also just kind of gives us an opportunity to try different things, talk about different things, kind of without the structure that the show usually has. So welcome. Want to say shout out to everybody watching on Facebook. So Facebook, definitely we appreciate you. YouTube is represented, so we thank you for that. YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, and of course our Twitchers who are out there. So thank you very much for joining us today. So this show is going to be about networking like a savage. That's the theme of season 4, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So during this pre-show, what I end up doing is making checks, doing our final checks for sound, doing our final checks for video, which usually actually do work, and sometimes they don't, and it ends up just not going right anyway. But we have fixed that, and we will be ready today. So I'm going to be fading and coming in and out. You might see me mute, unmute, go to avatar like this. Right now we are 14 minutes to live. So we have some time. Want to make sure you let me know you're there by typing comments in the chat. Put some flames in there. Put the Business Savage emoji in there. If you're on Twitch, you got emotes because you're special on Twitch. So the Twitchers have emotes. The rest of us have emoji, right? So just put in. So I use 3. I use the biceps, the flame, and the black dude with the suit. Some emojis you can change the color of the emoji. So I'm the black dude with the suit. Sometimes I'm just the dude with the suit. So it's just the way that goes, depending on what platform you're using. All right. So let me start my checks. Again, you can put your comments in the comment box and send it. And as always, you can go to allthingsdavidwilson.com. And that's how that'll come up later on in the show, and it'll be scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So you'll be able to go to that. All right. So bear with me. I'm going to be preparing the opening of the show, and then we'll be ready to launch. All right. 11 minutes or so to live. Stand by. All right. Check. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, da. So that's an old warm-up trick. It's a long story. It's crazy. Okay. It is for warming up though. So it's cool. All right. Choir kids, what can I tell you? So our show today, I will also put this in the chat. It is brought to you by NutriChamps. So NutriChamps is where I get all of my nutrition from. So if you are interested in staying fit, staying healthy, especially as a business owner, entrepreneur, that's where I get my Savage nutrition from. The guys at NutriChamps. Go to nutrichamps.com. I put the that web address in the chat, and use the code the Savage One. You'll get special discounts and free stuff when you use that code. So make sure you check them out. thesavageone.com. All right. And again, welcome to all of our folks from all over the world, from all different types of platforms, right? Except for MySpace. We're working on MySpace. We're trying to get this compatibility issues with MySpace. And I think one of the big compatibility issues with MySpace is that people aren't on it anymore. So I did vow at the beginning of the season to be on MySpace at least for one episode, and I may have failed at that. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. About 9 minutes to live. Okay. All right. Looks like everything is good to go. As I said, we will be live in about 9 minutes or so. 9 minutes to live. So it's about 2:52 Eastern Daylight Time here in the capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia, USA. And I think we're going to be all set. All right, so it's been great. A couple IBGR things while I have you here. Go ahead, if you don't already have the app, go to your favorite app store. I mean, I think there's two. So Apple and Android, right? So go to one of those two and just search for IBGR and get the IBGR app. And you can listen to all the on-air talent at any time during your day. You can listen to me. You can listen to Raj Kapoor. You can listen to Donna Kunde and any of the other on-air talent. You can also listen to Brandon Suba. You can listen to any of them, and they're all experts in different areas. And that's the beautiful thing about IBGR. You have at your fingertips a whole host of entrepreneurs. The slogan I came up with, right? And this is true. I actually think I came up with this by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, but somebody will probably say they came up with that, and but that's how it is. That's how it is. So I don't need credit. So, I don't go around stealing sayings, right? A very famous person once said, um, true leaders don't mind who gets the credit. And David Wilson said that. So, all right, 6 minutes to live. 6 minutes to live. Also, you can join our community on IBGR. That's where you interact with us. You can ask us questions no matter what stage of business you are in, from pre-startup to growth to hockey stick growth. So hockey stick growth is like steroidal growth. It's like growth, like big growth, right? Um, then you have what I like to call smooth and steady. So this is a company who's stable. They're taking advantage of opportunities as they see them. They're doing what companies should do. And then you get to the point where, hey, I want to retire to the country and raise alpacas, right? So we can help at any stage of business you're in. Alpacas are pretty cool from what I hear. I've never have I ever seen one in person? No, I don't think I've ever seen one in person. Um, but my wife got chased by a goat once. That's a true story. That's true. Here, like around houses and in a neighborhood, she got chased by a goat, and he wasn't kidding around. Right? That it's stuff like that. That's why you tune in. That's what makes this all fun, right? Just looking at my clock before I get yanked off the stage. 4 minutes to live, about, yeah, something like that. 4 minutes or so. Let me make sure I'm listening to radio here. Okay. So it's important for me to have that on in the background, so I know that I know where my timing is, where my timing needs to be. So we're going to come on um, at a very specific time. So we're a 24-hour, 7-day a week radio station. So there is no downtime. There is no time where we yawn and say, yeah, let's let this play out, or what. No, we're always on. Someone is always on the radio at IBGR, and it's all done with a lot of timing. We're all broadcasting from different areas of. It's interesting. So Bill Eastman is on now. We are both in the city of Richmond in different areas of the city. But then we have people who are broadcasting in other areas of the country, United States. Then we have other folks who are broadcasting in other areas of the world, all over the world in different places. So that's what makes IBGR unique. All right, let's see what we got here. I think we're all set, guys. We're going to go to Avatar. So I'm at about two and change, looks like a half minutes to live, and we will see you. You'll hear the opening, so we're going to keep the mic open, but the video will go off so that you can't see all the magic that goes on behind the scenes. I mean, you're seeing magic right now, but there's magic that I couldn't even put you in a position to see that. So that's just not a good idea. Sorry about that dead air. Okay, got our equipment ready, And we will see you in about 2 minutes. 1 minute. All right. Here we go. Let's have a great show. To join me, No Nonsense Market Domination, Savvy Segments, Take 2, Episode 12, Season 4, Network Like a Savage. Here we go.
Radio network broadcast frequency is our URL, and that's IBGR.Network. We provide live and recorded shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. On what an entrepreneurial small business consultant needs to grow their operation from zero to big. How big? Up to you. IBGR focuses on the 180 million English-speaking small business owners around the world in 4 major markets: North America, Australia, Oceania, the Indian subcontinent, and the United Kingdom, Europe, and Africa. All of these 6-hour cycles are delivered 6 major themes: strategy, operations, sales, people, ownership, and consulting. The first 4 tracks,
Let's go.
operations, sales, and people, are day-to-day solutions, all on your space. The 5th track, ownership, takes the conversation to the next level. How can an owner working in the business make the transition to an executive of a multi-million-dollar firm by working on it? Our last track, consulting, is for our brothers and sisters with the same mission as IBGR, helping small business owners grow. I bet you didn't know that 57% of everybody on the planet is employed by a small business owner. Let's team up and help business owners create generational wealth for themselves and their family while creating good jobs in their local community. Our team has over 7 decades of helping them build businesses. We have turned those years of success into radio shows and downloadable tools that any entrepreneur, whether you're an independent contractor, solopreneur, or business owner, can apply immediately. All you have to do is download, listen, apply, and engage. Download the show notes that include current issues of the business show live or as a podcast.
Okay.
Apply the information and tools.
30 seconds to live. Steve, you ready?
I want to maximize the time spent with IT.
Okay, here we go.
And have access to our toolbox. This just scratches the surface of what you will receive every day at IBGR. The opportunity to grow with us is only limited by your imagination and persistence. Let's work together.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time once again. It's time for our roll call. Accra, Ghana. Stand up. Bogota, Colombia. Stand up. Tokyo, Japan. Stand up. Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Stand up. London, England. Stand up. Easton, Pennsylvania, USA. Stand up. And Neptune, New Jersey, USA. Stand up. And be ready to change the world today. Now, who's with me? You ready? Then say my name. Savvee. Let's go. All right. Welcome to No Nonsense Market Domination. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. Wow. Now, after that wonderful opening, that's what I get from you, Steve? Is that your way of getting back at me? That was terrible. If you want to be around for season 5, like I'm going to be, I think we should do that again. Hey, everybody, I'm David Wilson. Welcome to No Nonsense Market Domination. I am the Business Savage. Much better, Steve. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. Season 4, No Network Like a Savage. And this episode is Savvee Segments Take 2. Savvee Segments Take 2. In short, what this episode is about, it's like a buffet. It's like a buffet, a smorgasbord, if you will, of a whole bunch of stuff, a conglomeration of ideas, questions, answers, and what have you, collected from this season. So many of them will be questions that were sent in by you guys, our viewers, and our listeners, and we look forward to answering those. Absolutely. Before we get started, reluctantly, I introduce my in-studio engineer, Steve Namin Eufemi, who this may be Steve's last season. I'm just letting you know that because he got me though. He got me, and that's cool. I can take a joke with the best of them. It's just that I'm holding the mic. Never heckled a guy with the mic. All right, to all of our brand spanking new listeners on IBGR.Network and viewers on Facebook, YouTube, the law firm of Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch. Welcome. And also to our returning viewers and listeners. Thank you so much. Without you guys, I can say this sincerely, without you guys, I'd still have a show. I would still have a show. It's just nobody would be watching or listening. Oh, anyway. All right. We are proud to say that this show is being brought to you by NutriChamps. NutriChamps is where I get my savage nutrition. That's how I keep my body fit, my mind fit, to work those long hours and do all those things that entrepreneurs and business owners need to do on a daily basis. Keeps me going, keeps me vitaminized. Is that a word? I think it is. So keeps me with vitamin. It keeps me of vitamin. It keeps me of nutrition. And keeps me going. Go to NutraChamps.com. That's Nutra, N-U-T-R-A, champs.com, and use the code TheSavage1. TheSavage1. So the Savage One will get you discounts and what have you when you go to the website, and free stuff also. So free orders and free products and whatnot. Okay. So show notes. If you can go to IBGR.Network, right? To take a look at the show notes. You can also, if you're watching, the show notes are going to be in the post that you're watching on. And if you want to follow along, Steve, where's my see? Steve is messing around because he took my. Okay, so I don't know what the first question is in Savvy segments in this segment. Okay, so where am I going to go? I'm going to go to my show notes. I'm going to go right to my show notes because Steve, I will not allow Steve to trip me up. And you ever notice? So for you HR pros out there, and you know when an employee knows it's like the beginning of the end, and Steve is like, you know what? I don't really care. If I'm gonna get fired, and you're making me work all through the day, working the entire day, that's messed up. Okay. This is not just fun and games. This question comes in from Dennis. So this will be a good one to kind of put into our first segment. Dennis asks or says, my mind is always racing with ideas. How do you keep your ideas organized? And I guess in parentheses, savvy, it's probably like for me, right? How do you keep your ideas organized? Well, here's what I used to do. And I'm sure that nobody knows what I'm talking about here, right? When I say I used to have a whole bunch of sticky notes and a whole bunch of pieces of paper all over the place and what have you. Whiteboards and blackboards and cork boards and everything, right? And what I found was happening was that I was losing stuff. Like I didn't have a single place to keep my ideas, right? I did not have a single place to keep my ideas. And I would forget stuff. I would go back and I'd open up I'd find the sticky note that had fallen on the floor 10 years ago. And it was like, hey, you should start something called Bitcoin. And it would be, it's that. And I got frustrated with it. So what I started to do was I picked a thing to keep all my ideas in. Now I may take the ideas out of that thing and put them elsewhere, but for the most part, I keep them in the same place, which is very convenient for me. So you can call it a book, you can call it a notebook, you can go whatever. Yeah, I started with a notebook. You can call it a journal, you can call it whatever you want. But I have something for you that might work for you. It might not work for you, but it might work for you, and it'll cost you very little to try it and see if it works for you. It's something new that I put out, and I'm just gonna read it to you. It's called the Think Like a Savage Business and Success Idea Journal. The Think Like a Savage Business and Success Idea Journal. It's available on Kindle. So you just go to the Kindle store and look up the Think Like a Savage Business and Success Idea Journal. My eyes, man. I'm telling you, I don't know if I'm getting old or what, but and check it out. Check it out there and see if that works for you. You can. I'm working on getting it available in print format. Right now, it is available in e-format, where you can go and just put it right down on your Kindle and use it that way. And let me know if that works. I'd love to get feedback from you guys. I'd love to get feedback from you guys in Omaha, Nebraska, standing up. So I see you, Brandon. And let me know if it works, and let me know if it doesn't, because I think this is a pretty good idea. Seems like a good idea. It may be a terrible idea, and if it's a terrible idea, say, hey, Savvy, it's a terrible idea. All right, I gotta watch my time. Whoopsie. All right, so glad I looked. Next segment, we'll come right back, and we will talk about our next question. So thanks for having that window open. Savvy. All right. See, that's what I get for running my mouth. I lost track of time. What I did was I clicked off my timer, and I almost messed up. So, but we got it. We saved it. So let's see. Okay, good segment. Good segment. All right, next segment we are ready for. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, we got a Twitcher on. Appreciate that. Mr. Suba, yes, I got you your stand up. Representing Omaha, the home of the investor, right? the the invest the your favorite investors from Omaha, Nebraska. So, all right, awesome. Thank you for jumping on. Appreciate you all. All right, we're having some fun today. Let's get back. Let's get back up. All right. Please type in any comments that you have, where you're listening from. So that is cool. We'll get you a stand up, like we did for Brandon. And if you have any questions, we'll try to cover as much as we can. This is a bit of a, I don't want to say it's not structured. It's very structured. It really is. No, it is. It's very structured. What? No, it is structured because I have my notes here. No, you didn't do this. Why are you trying to see? There you go, trying to take credit again for stuff. You didn't even do anything. This is an outrage. That's all right. I bet you'll be here next week, though. I bet you'll finish up the season. Good help is hard to find, folks. All right, here we go. All right. Welcome back to No Nonsense Market Domination on IBGR.Network. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. We are in season 4, Network Like a Savage. On this episode 12, it's called Savvee Segments Take 2. Why Take 2? Because it's the second time we're doing it this season. And we're just talking about a bunch of stuff. We're talking about a bunch of stuff that relates to networking like a savage. The first question we covered in the first segment was about ideas and where to keep them. In this segment, we're going to cover, I think this one is about networking, very, very specifically. Yep, absolutely. All right, before we move forward, I want to make sure I alert you all. So some of you are watching, some of you are listening. If you're watching, you might be watching on a phone. If you're listening, you might be listening on a computer. You might be listening through a browser on your phone. But here's what you can do. You can also download the IBGR app to your phone. And you can go to the Apple Store. You can go to the Android Store and search for IBGR and download that app. And you can listen to all of the on-air talent anytime you want. In fact, there's an added bonus. You can actually walk around with David Wilson, the Business Savage, in the palm of your hand. You can't beat that. That alone is a reason to get the daggone app. Oh God. Anyway, whatever. What's wrong with him? That's not the Steve show, so I can say that. So don't worry about it. It was good. That was funny. Let's move on to Savvee segments. Next question comes in from Corey. Corey says, "What are my must-haves for networking again in person?" Well, great question, Corey. And as we see, the thing about The only reason we're in this this situation is because of COVID, right? COVID, coronavirus has forced us, required us to sometimes quarantine, most times be apart from each other. So for those of us who have been in the game for a while, right? This is like hashtag new to us, because this doesn't even make any sense really. And so we really had to adjust. And for all of the business owners, let me just take a step back and say that to all of the business owners, entrepreneurs, hard chargers, idea havers who were nimble and who were forced to be uncomfortable, who were forced to do something different, who were forced to change it up, not because, oh yeah, well, I want to try something. No, because you had to. You had to. Salute. Salute. That's what I say to you. So congratulations. Give yourselves a pat on the back right now for doing that. So celebrate everything. Congratulations. But now what we're starting to see, and the trend is that at least here in the United States of America, the trend seems to be moving toward more people being allowed to gather. So we went from groups of 1 to groups of 10 to groups of 20 to groups of 50, and it's starting to change. So for Corey's question, what are your must-haves for networking again in person? I tell the story of my friend Frank. So Frank Varlin runs a company called Green Truck Marketing. So if you need any of these things that I'm about to show you, you can contact Frank at Green Truck Marketing. If you want his information, just let me know. Green Truck Marketing. So he's been doing my stuff for, I don't know, like 50, 60 years or whatever. And I remember I was so excited. And folks on listening on the radio, you're not going to benefit from seeing this. But what I'm doing is holding up the awesome business card that Frank and I came up with. And essentially it's, well, I'll get to that. I'll get to being nimble in a second. So Corey, number 1, business card. So we designed this business card. The back of the business card was supposed to drive you to this website, All Things David Wilson, which ended up just being a standalone website because we couldn't use the business cards anymore, right? Because we weren't out. So what you need to have, you need to make sure you have business cards. I had a fresh, crispy. It was like I just walked out the barbershop box of business cards. And Frank delivered, he was all happy. It was like March 16th. And then March 17th, and that was just it. And then I couldn't use them. Then I couldn't use them. And I got a fresh, crispy box of business cards just hanging around, all dusty and whatnot. And me, repping the brand. So I'm still wearing my suits when I'm on the air. And I carry my business cards around still. So it's just a habit, and it's something I've always done. So to Corey's point. To Corey's question, you're going to need business cards, right? You're going to need business cards. You're going to need, number 2, you're going to need attire. I had someone that I ran into at the dry cleaners, and he was in line before me, and he had, the shirts that he was taking out of his bag to get dry clean they were like mad stinky and you know, I mean, it happens, right? You know, guys sweat and whatnot and wear the shirt, but I mean, they were the shirts got out the bag themselves, and it was just like, I didn't know shirts could walk. And so I guess he felt like I was going to say something, and he looked at me and said, "Yeah, man, this is the first time I've had these shirts dry cleaned in a year." And, you know, I thought about that and I was like, you know, for some people, that's a thing. That's a thing. There was no reason for them, I guess, to, if they're not being seen by anyone, if they don't have a brand to rep visually, there's maybe no reason. But back to Corey, this is now a reason. So if you're going to be in person and this is part of your brand, then this is something you're gonna need to do. So take a trip to do the dry cleaners, or take a trip to the laundry room downstairs, what have you, and wash your stuff and get ready and be prepared to go back out and make that quality first impression. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, you're going to need events to go to. You're going to need events to go to. One of the events that has never really stopped. We had a bit of a hiatus just as we were reorganizing and being nimble once the pandemic hit. But big kudos to BNI, Business Network International, BNI Global, for being, in my opinion, quite nimble for a global organization to shift from having, gosh, I'll say very conservatively, tens of thousands of in-person meetings. I think it sounds like that might be about right. Yeah, tens of thousands of in-person events, in-person meetings, and going strictly to Zoom. So as we open up, you're going to need to find places to go. Now, you can always go to a Zoom BNI event, but you can also go to a in-person BNI event. I think soon. I'm not the executive director. Don't call me and say, "Oh, David Wilson said that BNI is going to be open." I ain't say that. I did not say that. Okay. And it's not like I know Ivan Meisner or anything. Watch it. Pay attention to that segue in a second. Because the fourth thing you're going to need, Corey, is a strategy. You're going to need a strategy for what to do when you're networking in person again. And how do you get that strategy? The best way I can give you that strategy is to present to you my book, endorsed by the father of modern networking and founder of BNI himself, Dr. Ivan Meisner, I Hate Networking Events. And that's behind me if you're watching. So I Hate Networking Events, and go to IHateNetworkingEvents.com and get the book there. Or you can also it's also available on Kindle, and it's also available in paperback form on Amazon as well. This is your strategy. So what to do before, during, and after your networking event of choice. This book helps you plan out how many events should you be going to, where should you be going, where should you be spending most of your time, how you should do it, what to do during the event, how to meet people, how to connect with people, and what to do at the event during the follow through. So do what you say, how to set up meetings outside of that event. So there you have it, Corey. There's your answer. So check out I Hate Networking Events. When we come back, we're going to get into the third segment. We're going to talk a little bit about Zoom. So we'll see you on the other side. Savvee. Let's talk a little bit about Zoom. So we'll see you on the other side. Savvee. All right, good. Timing is good there. Timing is real good. Sounds good. Happy with that. All right, guys. Good first half. We move into the second half now. And talk a little bit about Zoom. Thank you for your comments. We appreciate that. As you can see, scrolling along the bottom of the screen, visit allthingsdavidwilson.com. There is a, I have a free networking guide there for you. So if you go to allthingsdavidwilson.com, you can check that out, the networking guide. Just put in a little bit of information, and you can get, and that'll help you as well. All right, and also there's our NutriChamps.com for Savage Nutrition. Be sure to use my code, the Savage One, to get free stuff and to get discounts. All right, let's check our comments here. All right, Brandon, I appreciate you joining. From the O. So we definitely appreciate that. And pretty much any way you want to stay in contact with me, you can do so at allthingsdavidwilson.com. So it's no problem. Easy to do. All right. We are 45 seconds to live. Upper right corner and click on the box that says get pre-qualified now. Make sure you stay hydrated. So as hard charging entrepreneurs and business owners, we need to stay hydrated. Try to get about at least a gallon of water a day. That's a challenge, but it's important. All right, 20 seconds to live. Third segment. Oh, jam. Welcome back to No Nonsense Market Domination. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. We are here on IBGR.Network. IBGR is a network of entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, helping entrepreneurs at any stage of business they're in, from pre-startup to startup, to growth, to hockey stick growth, which is really, really, really big growth, to nice and steady, we're moving along, doing the right things a business should do, to I want to build the biggest ant farm in the world that the world has ever seen and retire after I sell this business. So no matter what stage of business you're in, we can help you here at IBGR, IBGR.Network, Profit Radio. Come grow with us. Yes. That pause is important, because when you do the pause, you know that it's important after. So it's really important. Or I could have done this. IBGR Network, Profit Radio. Come grow with us. Come grow with us. Doodle it. All for emphasis. Okay, we have a show to do. Third segment. Savvy segments, take 2. We are in season 4, Network Like a Savage. We are going over different aspects of networking from the season, and we're answering some questions, and we're making some points, and we're hammering home some things. We're digging a little deeper on certain points that maybe we covered earlier in the season, and we're doing that by answering a lot of questions that come in from you guys, the listeners, and the viewers on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope, Twitter, and on Twitch. So thank you very much. Actually, before we get into the question, just a reminder that this show is brought to you by NutriChamps. NutriChamps is the provider of my Savage nutrition. So the nutrition that keeps me going, vitamins, supplements, minerals. Had Simple Green this morning. It's a green, all greens powder that gives me a full day's worth of greens in an itty bitty scoop, and it keeps me going for the whole day. Go to NutriChamps.com and put in the code TheSavage1, 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 and you can get free stuff and discount, and you too can champion your life. See, that pause again. This question comes in from Roxanne. All right. Roxanne says, I'm nervous, Savvy. I started building my network on Zoom, and I'm scared to meet people in person. What do I do? Now, Roxanne, you've been listening all season, and you have to bear with. So my first thought, my gut, and see, when I was in school, when I was a little kid in school, and I had to learn this. I had teachers that taught me, don't say the first thing that pops in your head. Don't say that. But the first thing that popped into my head was, well, Roxanne, you might want to get a different job. You might want to do something different. But no, that's not what we're going to do. That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. What do I do? It occurred to me. So this was kind of foreign. This was kind of foreign to me. Because I and you, usually the people that I network with that are in my circle are not new to this, right? I've been doing this for a while. We came upon the anniversary of the pandemic, last week-ish, at some point, maybe a little bit 2 weeks ago, that week ago. And we're always talking about the trauma. Oh my God, I spent 2 months balled up in the corner crying because I couldn't go out. Or I had all these shoes shined right the day before, and then they shut it down, the stupid governor or whatnot and stuff like that. So there was a big change for us. There was a big change going from kind of like the way we're used to this whole new thing. But it never occurred to me that for some people, I don't know how many of them there are, but for some people, they started networking, and it could have been because they never had to network before, ever. So networking in person was just never a thing, or they didn't have a reason to network. Meaning, so there's always networking is everywhere, right? But what I mean is, they maybe were students. So they imagine graduating like in the winter of 2019. And you'd be like, all fired up and whatnot, and walking into this, holy cow! And you just be like, I'm getting ready to hit the ground running, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything is shut down. You don't know any different. So there are people who were building their networks, and all they know is Zoom. It's like all they do is Zoom, 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 no matter what. But now what? So Roxanne is like, listen, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to do so here's the thing, Roxanne. I would say, look at the network you started to build and tap into your network. I would bet. So there's nothing wrong with asking for help. Tap into your network. I bet you there are people in your network that you have met and been networking with and building relationships with over the past year that can help you with this. And Roxanne, continue to educate. Continue to tap into resources like IBGR. So you're certainly in the right place here, because we are entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. I don't have too much information about Roxanne, but she knew enough to right into the show and ask for help. So to make the comment. So I think that's great. I think that's great. So tap into your network. That's number one. Number two, realize, and this is no different than, and I cite her all the time. She's been, Susan Jeffers has been gone for, I think, not maybe 10 years now. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Feel the fear and do it anyway. That book did a lot for me. Realize, Roxanne, that you're not alone. So when you're going out that first time, second time, third time, networking in person, you can bet your bottom dollar that there are people who they want to step into the room and they want to be like out lickety split. They just want to be like just out, and they're feeling the same things you're feeling, right? But if you know you're not alone and you know you're not the only one feeling that, maybe that can make you feel a little more comfortable. Because remember, at the networking event, everyone's there for the same thing. They're going to go about it in different ways. You know, you're always going to have, the guy that you can spot him walking up to you from all the way across the room. How you doing, brother Craig? And it's like, wow, that's really extroverted. It's a lot. That's a lot right now. I haven't even had a drink yet. Just relax. Versus the person who's more comfortable standing in the corner and maybe waiting for someone to come to him or her, and everyone in between. So start with an introduction and just find someone and, hi, I'm Roxanne. What's your name? I mean, sometimes we think it has to be all fancy and it's like, hey, you come here often? No, it's not. It's not the Regal Beagle. It's networking, right? Yeah, I dated myself. That's cool. That's a good show, though. So here's what you can do, Roxanne. Here's some more stuff you can do. Don't fret, right? There's people are in the same boat as you, and you'll be good. I will offer you a resource we talked about in the beginning, in the last segment, and that is I Hate Networking Events. My book endorsed by the founder and Dr. Ivan Meisner. That will help you. That will help you plan out each and every networking event you attend. What to do before it, what to do during it, and what to do after it. That's available at IHateNetworkingEvents.com and on Kindle paperback as well at Amazon. So you can go there and get it. And that'll help you. That'll help you tremendously. Because if you go into the event with a plan, with a strategy, and you can set it up so that, hey, I'm going here to meet 3 new people. And once I meet 3 new people, I can leave. Single handling tasks. So we talked about this in season 4, I think. And so now that you're done with your 3, you can stop. Now you have permission to leave, or you can keep going, and you can keep going. So you can do 3, you can do 4 now. You can go to 5, 8, whatever number you choose before you decide to stop. But you have permission to stop. You see what I mean? So hopefully that answers Roxanne's question. Thank you for writing that in. Thank you for everyone who is putting comments in the chat. Appreciate that. And we are right on target to move into our last segment. So we're going to get back to Savvy Segments Take 2 when we come back from the break. IBGR.Network. No Nonsense Market Domination. Savvee. IBGR.Network. No Nonsense Market Domination. All right, excellent. That sounded good too. So because of the delay, I'm about 10 or so, maybe 15 seconds ahead of live. So when I say something, I'm going to say it 15 seconds later, right? So I can't listen to myself when I'm on the air, or else it's going to sound like that, and it will drive you crazy. It'll be crazy, right? It'll be really bad. But what I can do is when I disconnect from live, I can go back, and if I do it in the window, I can hear the tail end of my 15 seconds. I just wanted to share that with just some behind the scenes stuff. I think they do care. That's why I said it. If they didn't care, they wouldn't be watching. Boy, man, I tell you, man, that's cool. Just get through the segment. How about that? I'm telling you, if he wasn't the only one who knew my stuff, I'd probably just fire him out. But all right. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I want to beat you up with sponsorships and whatnot. I think, well, one thing I didn't mention in this show is I do run a company, a business funding company called Fund You Up. We help small, mid-sized businesses get funding when traditional bank financing is not available. We do that for business owners. We also do that for real estate fix and flippers and commercial real estate investors. So if you know anyone who falls into those categories and they're looking for funding and they can't get it traditionally, that's a good connection for Fund You Up. All right, that was a good filler. Let's nail this last segment. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. All right, 10 seconds to live. Doctor, always do the right thing. David Wilson, No Nonsense Market Domination. I am Business Savage. Welcome to IBGR.Network Profit Radio, where we are entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, helping business owners in any and every stage of their business, no matter what stage, pre-startup to startup, to growth, to hockey stick growth, to smooth and steady with Ready Freddy, to I want to retire and I want to go move in with my daughter and play video games in her basement. If that's a thing, if that's your thing, if that's what you want to do, we can help you do it. IBGR.Network, Profit Radio. Hey, come grow with us. Yes. This show is brought to you by NutriChamps, where I get my savage nutrition. Go to NutriChamps.com. Use the code THESAVAGE1, THESAVAGE, the number 1, to get discounts and free products on all vitamins and minerals and supplements and whatnot to keep your body at its optimum performance as a business owner, as a hard-charging entrepreneur. Be the champion of your life with NutriChamps. Thank you. Thank you to NutriChamps for being the sponsor of many of our last shows of this season. So shout out to them. All right, so let's keep it going. Let's finish strong. Third period. I'll take top because we're going to finish this period, and that's how I want to win. I want to win on offense. So I choose offense. That's a wrestling thing. If you got it, you got it. If you didn't, I understand. All right, this next question is from Lana. Lana asks, is it weird? So whenever a question starts, is it weird? It might be. It's like, let me just, I don't mean to offend you, but I'm like offended. Is it weird that I actually like the whole Zoom thing and I don't want to meet people in person ever again? I feel like I should just press the disconnect button right now and just walk out into the parking lot and go home. But I'm not going to do that because I'm going to address Lana. Because first, Lana, thank you for asking the question, because there's no such thing as a stupid question. There's no such thing. And actually, I put some thought into this question, Lana, and no, I actually don't think it's weird. I don't think it's weird. There's a couple of things we're going to need to assume. I'm assuming that Lana is not like Roxanne. Lana is not like Roxanne in that it seemed like Roxanne she started building her network originally during the pandemic, whereas Lana was networking before in person and was pulled into Zoom like the rest of us, and now prefers Zoom and doesn't want to. Here's what I'll say, Lana. There's a trend in a lot of not just small companies, not just solopreneurs, but larger companies are looking at what has happened, looking at their nimbleness and what they had to do to shift, and they're looking at their financials, and they're saying, we had a pretty daggone good year this year. And they're going down the line item. Okay, I mean, there may be like $500,000 for Zoom, but what if we got rid of this office space? And what if our employees are happier now? What if they enjoy the flexibility? Because I think the big thing was, I gotta keep my eye on all of my employees, and there's no way I'm letting them work from home, because then they're gonna steal time and they're gonna be unproductive and they're not gonna do their work and they're gonna be loafers and they're gonna be playing video games in their mama basement and they're gonna be doing all of this stuff. And I think, I'm not saying none of that happens. We had a comment last week that on a Zoom meeting, people take like 2-minute videos of themselves wearing what they're wearing for the Zoom meeting, and they'll put the video up and it looks like they're just moving and they're present and their video's on. And I mean, okay, so there's people doing that, which honestly, I think that's pretty, at the very least, that's clever. That's clever if you don't want to be in the Zoom. I'm not suggesting that. Don't write me and say, oh, Savvy said that I don't have to be in the Zoom. I can just put up a video. No, you're fired. You're fired. Don't even try it. Don't put that on me. What I am saying though is there's people doing that in person. There's people doing stuff like that in person. Scanning in, they'll go to the building, scan in, or they'll give somebody their card and scan in, and then they never show up. So that does happen, right? But these companies are realizing, maybe, dare we say, the employees are more productive dare I say, if given the opportunity to get work done from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., because that's when you happen to work your best, from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., bully for you. I mean, that's great. So you're saving a ton of cheese on rent. You're saving a ton of cheese on insurance. The cafeteria is closed because nobody's there. I mean, you don't need all of that stuff. Yet your employees, your team is still connected. So Lana, I think you're part of a trend. I don't know. I'm just going to assume because you're here that you're the driver of this decision, and whether you have employees or not, you're going to be the driver of this decision on whether you meet in person or not ever again. Right now, is that going to be a problem with someone who absolutely insists upon meeting in person? Well, maybe. But I'll share this with you. A great friend of mine who is the best Zoho One consultant in the business, Ben Meredith, years ago. So we were talking, it's probably about 50 something years ago when he and I were talking about this. And he said to me, we were talking about clients, and we were talking about firing clients. And he comes from an IBM background, big heavy IBM guy, and went into business for himself. And he said to me, remember this, you don't go into business for yourself to work with people you don't like and to work with people you don't want to work with. So the context was about getting rid of a problem client. So to Lana, let's say Lana decides, you know what? No, I'm not meeting in person ever again because I don't want to. Oh, well, if you don't want my business, then oh, wow. Oh, the world ended. The world ended. Did you hear that? The world came to a screeching halt. No, it didn't. If you don't want to work with people like that, then don't. I applaud you for if that's the stance you want to take, and create the business you want to create. If you don't want to work with a certain personality type, don't, and you don't need a reason. You don't need a reason. It's your business. Right? It's your business. You can do what you want. Now, there may be consequences, Lana, for not working with people who insist on meeting in person. But as an entrepreneur, as the business owner, you'll accept those consequences or you won't. So I just say make the decision. No, I don't think it's weird. To wrap up the question, no, I don't think it's weird. I thought it was weird when we first said it. When I first read it, I did think it was weird, but now I don't think it's weird. And you're not alone either. So there is a trend of people who are moving in that direction of not meeting, businesses who are not meeting in person anymore. And that's it. So there's Lana. And ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Savvy Segments Take 2. Thank you for joining me on IBGR.Network. No Nonsense Market Domination. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. We'll see you right here next week, 3 o'clock on IBGR.Network. Thank you, everyone. Have a marvelous day. Savage. All right. Let that breathe. off the air. Let that breathe. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. Booty baba. The bridge is over. There we go. Okay. That's awesome. Thank you, everyone. That was a great show. That was fun. Got some good information out there. Hopefully none of that stuff will get flagged by YouTube. I'm just kidding, YouTube. I don't even know why you would even look into it. Oh, boy. Let me disconnect. Am I disconnected? It's awesome. So that felt good. I felt like I owed you guys that because of last week, and I feel really good about this particular show. So thank you for staying with me. That's great. Felt really good. Who's that? Thank you, Tiani. Listened on. I don't even know what that is. Listened on the radio. Okay. I think that's what that says. And that's a Twitch symbol, everyone. So we got some Twitchers out there. So appreciate that. That was great. So yeah, I feel great this week. Like I said, thank you for sticking with me. Hopefully we got some good info out there. And by next week, I think Steve and I will have made up, and we'll mend the fences, and we'll be okay. Right? No. What do you mean? No, it's not a lover's quarrel at all. It's not even like that at all. You see, why are you gonna say that when we're not even or not? So we'll see how it goes next week. All right, remember next week, Wednesday, 3 p.m., same bat time, same bat station here on IBGR.Network on Facebook, IBGR's Facebook page, IBGR's YouTube channel. You can also see me on All Things David Wilson, regular David Wilson. So David Wilson Light. DW the Business Savage, All Things David Wilson YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, at DWill, and on Twitch. Go Savvee. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. Have a marvelous day, and we will see you next week, because right now the bridge is over. The bridge is over. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.